Folarin Balogun has been in unbelievable form. Yesterday, he scored a hat-trick for Reims against Lorient. He is now leading the way as the top goal scorer in the French division. Apparently a very good kid, clearly a talented kid, and there's a big power struggle here to get his services on the national front.
Yeah, huge. I mean, he has cycled through the national systems that are available to him, played a lot with England youth setup and the US youth setup as well. I believe he's actually played, born in New York City, also eligible for Nigeria, I believe. So this is a big fight. Meanwhile, I mean, there's the international side of it. Then there is the club side of it, which is fascinating because right now you have a striker on loan from Arsenal playing his first full season of competitive senior football. He had half a year at in the Championship, which I think is a really hard place to go straight out of academy football.
No, it's not.
It depends who you are. I think it's for a striker as well. I can't remember who was playing, who was in charge at Middlesbrough. Was it Pulis? It's maybe not the easiest
manager to play for. Yeah, true.
Yeah, maybe not the easiest environment for a young striker compared to Ligue 1, where you will get those opportunities. And the one person rubbing their hands right now is Edu and Mikel Arteta, because they have a striker who is blown up by all expectations at the same time that Eddie Nketiah is thriving. You've got Gabriel Jesus. We're talking about a player who, if he goes, strikers who do well in Ligue 1 can earn you an awful lot of money, or if not, you've got some great backup options. So this is fantastic news for Arsenal, fantastic news for Reims. Interestingly, I saw a lot of him at youth level because he was with Eddie Nketiah and a guy called Tyrese John Jules, who's there he's on loan at Ipswich, I believe. And I think the sense was always that the Balogun might really struggle to make the step up, that he was able to bully youth level defenses because he was a bit quicker, a bit stronger. But, he's proven a lot of people around that Arsenal youth setup wrong emphatically. And it's a great dilemma for Arsenal to be in the summer about what they do with Balogun.
I agree with that. I'm watching that one.
For me, it wouldn't be proper if I didn't ask this question for the man with the most passports on this podcast, Mr. Ian Joy. If you were Balogun, James has already said what nations he qualifies for. What nation would you pick and why?
See, I'm a little bit different. You asked this question to someone who is an unusual person in this subject. I prefer
You're an unusual person in every subject, Ian.
Correct. Very true. And I like it that way, James. But I believe that you should play for the country where you were born. That's where I believe personally. And I don't think there should be any restriction. If your grandparents and your parents and you have the choice, then that's fine. But me personally, because I was born in the States, I only ever wanted to play for the USA. And when I was trying out for the Scottish trials and things like that, I just didn't feel right. So I eventually pushed myself and got an opportunity with the national team and loved it. And there was an element of pride playing for the country where I was born, even though I sound Scottish. So I would love to see him go and play for the USA. But I would have no problems with him. I mean, I actually quite like the fact that he has a choice here, because the USA would be able to offer him a lot, in my opinion. You've got a World Cup coming up in 2026 in the United States and North America. You have, obviously, the travel that you can look forward to all across the United States and the world. The way the federation looks after the players is very, very good. So he will be one of the best players, if not the best player that they have in that ranks there, James. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here. He probably will be the best player. No doubt the best striker. But don't rule out Nigeria as well. I wouldn't rule that out, because there's something uniquely special about playing for an African nation where, if you look at your heritage, where your family comes from, there's pride. There's a lot that comes into play there. African Cup of Nations. I know you're smiling, you're laughing, Nigel. Maybe you can add more to this, obviously, but I think that there will be something there from Nigeria as well. I don't know. I don't know what he would do.
I would, if I was him, to play for USA. You're right. I won't go to Nigeria. I'm African heritage. I'm very proud, but we all know African nations don't run their federations properly. There's too much nonsense behind it. So if he was my son, why would I advise him to do that? The ones that are running properly are the ones that are doing well successfully and doing well in the sense of, like, at least you could say Ghana, Ivory Coast. There's Cameroon are doing it well now with Eto'o going in there, cleaning out house. Nigeria, with all the talented players that Nigeria have around the world, there's no reason why Nigeria shouldn't have been probably the first African nation to make a World Cup final, at least. And for me, it's too much politics. You're right. USA have a diamond right now, but can USA really work well to woo him to get him into that USA system
Nigel,
for him to really want to be part of it. What?
You say too much politics about Nigeria. Have you seen the state of what's happening at US soccer right now? I mean, it is a mess right now.
It is a mess, but they're still a little bit more stable than Nigeria. In all honesty.
Can I ask you this, Nigel, real quickly? If you were Balogun, right, your best bet at playing at a World Cup in 26 would most likely be the USA. I mean, 100%. Nigeria is not guaranteed to get in that Nigeria side for a start. Nigeria not guaranteed to be at the World Cup.
Wouldn't start, would he? With Osimhen,
he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start, like you said, Ian. He's born in America, right?
Yes, born in New York.
America desperate for a striker right now. They need that striker. He is showing he's doing it in one of the top leagues in Europe. That what he's capable of. That's the striker you need, and you can build on from with the other bits that you've already got. So for me, common sense would say to the USA, we need to woo this kid, and we need to get him to play for us and represent us, and we can work. You've got time to build him, help him, and make it be successful. But he definitely wouldn't guarantee to get in that Nigeria side. There's probably a 17-year-old that's Nigerian playing somewhere else that probably could go in there as well. Like it's crazy.